Hello, welcome to Trader TV. My name is Robert Sievers. Today we're here with the special guest, Mike Nauss. You can find Tim on Twitter at Bompara or on his YouTube at Bompara. How are you doing today, Mike?
Good. Up here in Canada, it's not snowing, so we always count that as a win. How are you doing over there?
Oh, doing pretty well. It's actually the weather is also starting to warm up here in Paris, and so it's consider that a win as well. So let's go ahead and let's get started with the interview. Let's talk a
Sure.
little bit about how you first kind of got introduced into trading, how you kind of first got interested in it.
Yeah, I've actually been around for quite a long time. They had a job fair at my university in 2000, would be 2005, back before computers have taken the market and algos took over the market. There was really a drive for human beings to come in as intraday scalpers. And back then, there was a lot of funds hungry for new talent that were just looking to teach very short-term, in and out in seconds scalping techniques, and started from there. Just walked in. They didn't need much experience or anything like that. They had a strategy built down, and they were just going to teach you to do it, and you were going to do it. So, like with most traders, you sit in front of the screens, and after the first day, you're just enamored with it, right? So I've been kind of obsessed ever since. And as the market grew and as the technology grew, their strategy didn't work anymore. So that firm kind of faded away. But I've been plugging away at it in some form or another ever since.
Okay, and then how did you make the transition then into algorithm trading? I mean, obviously, most people that do it have a little bit of a background kind of with computers or with some sort of computer design. So, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm actually the other way around. I
Okay.
know almost nothing about computers.
Okay.
I actually really don't like them at all. But
All right.
ever since I was trading back in 2006, I used a program called Trade Ideas, and I've actually talked to the guys there, and there'll be a link with a little deal for the Trader TV watchers. But I've used this program as just a way to filter out what I wanted to see in the market, and as the market changed, so what I looked for changed. So after that firm disappeared, I actually went to work working for hedge fund admin in a corporate world. But still wanting to trade, still interested in the market, I would use this trade ideas for a longer term kind of trading, swing
Okay.
trading, multiple day holds, intraday swing trading, where that's for holds of a couple hours. Um, and from there, when I started to trade for a living again, I got involved with their back testers. So I took these strategies that I was using anyway, and I knew they worked, and I actually started to back test them and refine them using their technology. And one day I just remember it got to the point where I was just sitting there with no pre-market prep or anything, waiting for this program to go, okay, ding, now buy this and put out a 30-cent stop and hold it for a half hour and then sell it. And as I was sitting there just acting as looking outside, and it was, again, we had one of our nice days out, and just doing robotically what this system was telling me to do, I thought there had to be a way to take me out of the equation altogether. So that's when I really started to get into algorithmic trading. And I found a program that just linked the two softwares. So with no programming experience at all, I was able to build my own trading bot from that.
Okay. And then, so would you consider that type of bot? I was doing a little bit of research just kind of on your YouTube page, and there's a couple introductory videos into algo trading. Which so
Yep.
would that be considered the gray box style, or is now what you have is that more of a black box style? Can you tell us a little bit of a difference between those two different classifications of
Yeah,
algorithmic trading?
yeah. It's a mysterious world for a lot of people, but it's really not that complicated. So to build a trading strategy, all you do is you enter what you want to see, and you back test it. And once you get tweak it, and once you get results that you're happy with, you can have that auto traded. So a black box system is building that strategy, clicking go, and then just leaving it, just
Okay.
not any sort of human interaction, any way, shape, or form. Um, and then there's gray box trading, where you build the strategies, the bot deals with all the strategies, but you might watch the overall market, and if you see a move in the overall market that may be unfavorable to your long positions, you might sell your longs first. So Gray box is just a little bit of interaction with the black box. And now while I'm
Okay.
perfectly okay leaving, like there's a video on there while I was in Cuba on vacation
Yeah,
in
I
the
saw
bot
that.
trading. So I obviously didn't have any, the girlfriend was mad enough that I got up to turn the bot on. So I obviously wasn't allowed to look at it throughout the day. But most days I hang out in a room, Great Stock Picks, where I mention what the bot's doing and everything. So if I see something that I feel like I need to step in, I try to make sure I'm there for it.
Okay.
So I would say I'm mostly a black box trader, unless something, black swan event, it's getting into something that technically fits the mold, but I just I don't see it, that type of thing. So
Okay.
mostly black box, but gray box, just because I've been trading so long when my eye kind of fits.
Okay. So you maybe I mean I also kind of was listening a little bit, and I mean I saw that basically you occasionally will make sort of a tweak to some of the different settings on the algorithm. And so I mean I was kind of wondering basically how you decide which kind of tweaks you're going to make, or how you recognize different sorts of patterns that you're going to set up the bot to kind of recognize. I was just wondering basically, does it all come from your kind of first initial job as a scalper, or did it also come from different things that you realize coming from Great Stock Picks, or is it from TRDR.tv that you guys have kind of improved and tweaked the algorithm a little bit? I realize that's kind of a long question with a lot of different ones in there, but
One talent I do have is rambling, so I'm sure I'll ramble and
excellent. We
hopefully
got
get
that
to
in
them,
common.
get to them all at some point. But it started out where I liked certain things. I liked fading if a stock's coming up to resistance or down to support on a
Okay.
longer term time frame. So it started with that. But the beauty with the Trade Ideas software, and the reason I like that as opposed to other backtesters, is again my lack of knowledge with computers. So I was able to. It has a optimization tab where you say, okay, I want to buy things that are coming down to the 200-day moving average, for example, and you can easily put that into Trade Ideas. You can hit a button, and then it will tell you. It will break down based off, I think, 150 different filters what's affecting your trade. So you can go in and see, okay, how is the RSI affecting my trade, or how is the movement of the S&P 500 affecting my trade? And you can limit it, right? So say you're buying this stock coming down to a 200-day, and you find out that if the SPY is also dropping, it doesn't work as well. So it will tell you this without you having to know in advance, which is amazing, because you actually learn a lot about the market just by learning how the market and all these different things affect your particular strategy.
Okay.
So from then it just became idea creation through any means necessary. Like if on the YouTube, I make full well that I'm a hippie. I talk about meditation and all these type of things. So I read books on how to create ideas. Again, the room that I mentioned, the Great Stock Picks, there's 250 traders in there, and,
Wow.
and we make sure that they're all, when they type, they're contributing. So I get to see a lot of different trading styles. So,
Okay.
I might see a guy trade something that I would never trade, but that might give me an idea to then go back to the bot and say, okay, tell me if this works, and under what situation it works, and a strategy might come out of that as well.
Okay, and then that's when the back testing comes into play.
Right.
Do you think you could explain for us a little bit about what back testing actually is for those of us who don't know?
Sure. So if you've never used Trade Ideas, you can basically go to it. And again, we'll use the 200-day moving average example, right?
Okay.
You say, I like stocks between $10 and $100 that trade 1 million shares on average a day, and I want to see stocks that have moved down into the 200-day moving average.
Okay.
So you can tell it that, and if that's where you want to leave it, it will just give you symbols all day. It will say, okay, Apple has now done this, and Google has now done this. So you don't have to scan it yourself. It's scanning it for you.
Okay.
And then you can go into Trade Ideas, and you can say, okay, what would happen is every time this alert went off, I bought it and I put in a 30-cent stop and a $1 profit target, and I held it for an hour and sold it. What would happen? And it would go back through every instance of that alert and theoretically trade that for you.
Okay.
And then give you a P&L graph, tell you, how much you would make on an average day, how much you would lose on an average day, your biggest winning loser, and it would graph. And it drills it down so much that you could go into every single trade if you wanted to and bring it up on a chart to see if it met your parameters. So I backtest everything like that, and then it becomes tracking to see if the trend continues forward.
Okay, so it's using the historical data essentially just to ensure that that your new strategy or your new tweaks are going to be profitable, or they would have been profitable if you had enacted them before.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Excellent. So the next question I wanted to ask you was, is there parts of your algorithm that are available on some of these websites? Can you actually purchase them, or can you actually maybe buy some of like the tweaks or the modifications? Is there a way that I can start kind of getting into algorithmic trading through TRDR.tv or through your website, through YouTube, excuse me?
Well, yeah, the beauty, so a couple different answers to that.
Okay.
A couple things I want to hit on. So Trade Ideas has built their artificial intelligence recently, which what that does, it takes strategies from that Trade Ideas has built, but I've actually built a couple for them as well, and it optimizes it and tweaks it every night. The computer looks at what's doing best in this current environment. So, if any of you guys that are watching have Trade Ideas, if you've seen Bond Shorty pop up or anything with Bond in the name, that is a strategy that I've given to them, and then the robots tweaked. So you can actually see some of my strategies in there. And if you buy the AI, you actually automatically get the back tester, which is a one-time license fee. And then you can try it with any of your own scans. But I personally don't sell scans anymore, and I do it for kind of more moral reasons than anything else. I've learned a long time ago that if I give someone a system, they're going to get in its way in some way and cause it to lose money. But B, no system in the market works forever. So if I sell you a system and then you start trading with it, I may have sold it to you the last day that it works, and have no way to know that. So what I like to do, and again, I don't really have a website, but I think my email will be in the description. I like to teach a man a fish instead of give a man a fish. So I rather the person come to me with an idea, I show them how I would build it into a scan, and then more importantly, probably usually in the second or third session, I show them how to rebuild it when it stops working. Because you can't take something in a 5 VIX environment, the volatility index, and trade it the same way you would in a 50. It's just, it won't work the same. So I like to just show the person, okay, this is your idea, and because it's your idea, you're going to stick to it better. You're going to trade it better. You're going to understand the ins and outs.
Yes.
So this is your idea. This is how it's an algo, and this is how you can rebuild it when it stops working. So that's what I prefer to do.
I mean, I think that's much more intelligent. It's the same kind of thing for me. Example is when I remember when I first started trading, and if somebody gave me a recommendation for a stock, I would maybe, buy a couple shares, but at the same time, you don't have as much confidence in that in that stock because it wasn't necessarily you who did the due diligence and did the research and actually knows about it. You're just kind of taking somebody else's word for it, and you don't have that same sort of confidence or discipline that's necessary then to actually follow through and to finish out the trade. So, I mean, that's just my kind of the quickest little simile or metaphor that I could think of, kind of that kind of represents that as well. So,
well, exactly, and without the data, that person that gave you that idea might be an awesome trader, but as we know, an awesome trader is right 70% of the time. So you may have taken his one recommendation out of the last 10 that doesn't work, and then all of a sudden you're tainted on that trading style or that trader or whatever, just because you don't know the numbers like he knows the numbers. So
I don't know. I mean, I think that's that it makes a lot of sense, and I think it's important definitely that the traders who are starting to do the algorithmic trading or starting to do whatever kind of trading strategy they feel fits their own personality, it has to be something that they have the ability to have confidence in order to actually be able to pull it off successfully, obviously. So. That's there we go, is the question for today. So is there really anything else that you'd like to share with us for today? I mean, about trade ideas or about great stock picks or anything on your YouTube that you'd like to share with us in particular?
I would recommend checking them both out, whether you're interested in algo trading or not. If you just want to be a discretionary trader, some back testing would definitely help.
Okay.
The environment over at Great Stock Picks is an amazing one. He didn't build the whole guru system. He built just more of a community, which is great there. I know the guys. There'll be a link below. I got a hold with the guys at Trade Ideas, and they put together like a 30 to 50% off deal
Okay.
for the Trader TV's watchers. So definitely check that out. And then over at my YouTube at youtube.com/Bonpara, there's live trading videos. There's me talking about psychology and all of this type of thing. So if you're looking to hear me ramble a bit more, there's plenty of it.
Well, I recommend it because I checked it out before the interview, and I saw that that there's a couple different I think there's 3 introductory videos into algo trading. So that was interesting for me because my experience in the field isn't as much or as I'd like as other people. So I thought it was informative for me to check out those free videos, and I think that any other traders that are kind of in the same sort of position as me that are looking for a little bit of information on kind of how to maybe get started or to get a little bit more knowledge in the field, they should definitely check out your YouTube videos because there's more than just information about the algorithmic trading up there. There's also, like you said, some of the stuff about the discipline and things like that. So I highly recommend that people check it out. You can also go check out a couple different things on your Twitter as well. It's at Bonpara, so the at Arobas, and then Bonpara. I highly recommend checking that out. Thank you very much for coming today and doing the interview with us today, Mike. I really appreciate it. No, of course. That is all the time, though, that we have for today. So thank you, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, traders, for watching the interview with Mike Nauss. I highly recommend that you go check out his YouTube, and you also go check out the other websites that we talked about during the interview. They're going to be in the description of the video once we're done and we post it up. So anyway, thank you very much for joining us here at Trader TV. I wish you the best of luck in your trades, and have a nice day.